A shalom to the elect of Israel. I want to start by giving all the praises, honor, and glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, every well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. All right, this lesson basically is, as you see the title, Sharpen Your Spiritual Sword. Okay, and I gotta, title it like that because, this devil, man, you leave the spiritual part out. He try to blow things out of proportion, throw false witness, all that type of stuff. But, for real, yeah, but still, your spiritual sword. Talking about, basically, really, study, okay? Because these scriptures, is likened to a sword, okay? And you studying it and knowing it is like you, sharpening, your spiritual sword. Because the scriptures, once again, are likened to a sword. Let me just get it real quick. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Okay? And then in Ephesians, chapter 6, says, verse 17, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. You see? So it's just showing you how the scriptures are likened unto a sword, man. Okay? And the thing is, you're supposed to study. Let me get that in the letter Bible. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. Right? Let's look at this word, study. Spudazo. To hasten, make haste, son. There you go. To exert oneself, endeavor, give diligence. Diligence means what? Careful and persistent work or effort. You hear Apostle Tahar go into that. Talk about being diligent. All right? Diligent. On the Edom Online, it says constant in an effort to accomplish what is undertaken. Constant, though. Attentive, assiduous, careful. All right? Put hard work into, man. Okay? So how do you do that with these scriptures? You study it, and then you see, you got to study it, and then what you study, you put the lessons out. You see? And Strong's definition here says to use speed, make effort, be prompt or earnest. So what it says, labor, study. Okay? Look at that word, study. Right? It says study. Early 12th century, studien, to strive toward, devote oneself to, cultivate. Then it says from Old French, studi. I don't know how to say that, but it says to study, apply oneself, show zeal for, examine. Okay? So, point being, study these scriptures. All right? It says to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Let's look at that word, rightly dividing, if I can. It's together. Rightly dividing, orthotomeo, and it says, get it right to the point. To make straight and smooth, to handle aright, to teach the truth directly and correctly. Okay? I believe I've heard Apostle Gabar say that before. I don't remember. But nevertheless, this is why you study the show. This is why you study. So when you're bringing out the truth, you can do it directly and correctly. And you learn from the teachers, from our teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. You see, you learn from them. You learn from them, man. Okay? And you study these scriptures because, we got to teach and bring it out. Okay? Yahushua told us to go and baptize, basically the Israelites, okay, and immerse them in his knowledge. And how are you going to do that unless you have the truth? But also study, man, for yourself. So you yourself have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right? Because scriptures say, it's the book of Proverbs. Here. Proverbs 3 and verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. Because, with this wisdom that's in here, you got to understand it, though you can really grasp it, But this is Proverbs 2 and 7. Starting in verse 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He's a buckler to them that walk uprightly. See? So the wisdom is laid up for you in these scriptures. You see? But you want to study, man. So and then when you study, another thing too, like the head brother War down here says, when you study, you basically, you basically, because when you hear a false teacher break something, try to break something down, you like, wait, I know this. I've heard it before. I studied this. He going off, basically. That's what the brother was saying. That's true. Because when you study it, and you learn the correct doctrine, and when you hear someone breaking it down the wrong way, they lying, and you don't get caught up in their lies. You see? So knowing this truth for yourself, having a good foundation, which is the milk, having a good foundation, man, you can't go in the wrong direction, You see? And the ultimate, let me just actually, because I forgot what I was going to get just now, but another thing I wanted to say is study it, man, to sharpen it, because also what? All hell is going to break loose. There's going to come a time where we're not going to be teaching. We going supposed to once again go out here and teach, but also study these scriptures for yourself so that you can have the knowledge, because ultimately the famine of the word is going to come. Okay? And people ain't going to be able to access this word. So now it's only going to be if you have it or not. Like the Apostle Ramlov said one time. He said, brothers put these breakdowns up, and basically, it's if you have it or not. Because Esau take it down, and now basically whoever has the understanding has the understanding. So, and then it. But if you don't have it, if you don't have the correct understanding, then you ain't gonna know. Then you ain't gonna know what the chapter is talking about. All right. So you want to get all of it, as much of it as you can, as the apostle said. You want to get as much of this truth as you can. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 38, starting in verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man, meaning the wisdom a learned man has, right, cometh by opportunity of leisure. It comes when he has his downtime. He uses his downtime to study and get, the wisdom. And this is, once again, it's not saying you can't do other things, but, use your downtime to learn this truth. It says that he that hath little business shall become wise. Business basically meaning, things that, occupy you. So if you don't have a lot of stuff occupying you, like for example, of course you might have a job, but then, you got hobbies, this, you doing that, you doing this, you doing that. What time do you have left for the scriptures? So it's saying if you don't have a lot going on, then you can use that time to learn and you become wise. Verse 25, how can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and that glorieth in the gold, that driveth oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose talkers of bullocks? How can you get wisdom, when you got all sorts of stuff going on in your life, You see? So you want to, take advantage. You want to take advantage, to get this wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Because when this thing goes down, when all hell break loose, man, you're going to need it. People are going to need this. It's the book of Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation, the fear of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai's treasure. See? This wisdom, knowledge, understanding is what's going to keep you stable in that day, man. I'm telling you, man, wisdom in the scriptures is not, look, it's more than just prophecy and things like that in the scriptures. The scriptures talk about wisdom, man, and wisdom, man, it gets you out of situations for real. You know, the scriptures tell you how to navigate with things to look out for. You know, the scriptures have certain books specifically focused on wisdom, like Proverbs, Ecclesiasticus, Wisdom of Solomon, all of that. You know, but Ecclesiastes. But let me get this. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 11. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. See? So the Lord, basically, so wisdom is far greater than rubies, man. All right? You know, that's just facts. That's just facts, man. That's just the facts. You know, so why not get it? But yeah, wisdom, you know, in the scriptures, it tells you how to navigate with certain circumstances. You know, Yahweh Shai said, be with thine adversary. The scriptures talk about soft answer turneth away wrath. The scriptures talk about what type of people to look out for. You never trust thine enemy. How to, you know, look out for, you know, for wicked women. What to look for in them. What their mindset is. You know, it's wisdom. And the scriptures talk about this. So not only, you know, knowing, you know, just, you know, other things about the scriptures, but read it, study it, so you can also have these things for yourself. And when you know them, you can do lessons on them and all of that type of stuff. You see? You know? So you see why you want to get a lot of this? Because this is, man, the scriptures, man, they really like life, you know? They really like preserve, man, you know? The word of the Lord, man. Okay? You know, I mean, of course, you want to be sharp as well, because on prophecy, because then you know what's coming, and you know what has already been, you know about history, which you know about history. All right, it substantiates, you know, it should even more, you know, affirm your faith. People always talking about they want proof of stuff, or the scriptures talked about stuff that happened already in the past, way before it happened. All right, so you know about past history, that should, you know, boost your faith, because the scriptures talked about it before it even happened. All right, and then there's prophecies to come. You know what's to come, and the world moves according to prophecy. So you know what's to come. All right, scriptures talk about, you know, things dealing with character. All right, you know, getting yourself right with the Lord. All right, so you can get up out of here. And the scriptures also talk about, you know, different things such as, once again, dealing with women, all these things, you know, money, you know, how to get around certain situations and all of that, what to look out for. So sharpen your spiritual sword, man. You know, sharpen your spiritual sword, because you're definitely going to need to know these scriptures. And like the brother Kahan says, you have to be basically like a walking Bible. And these you know, when all hell breaks loose, you know, scriptures talk about the laws. You know, we know sinners breaking the law, so, you know, I got to even get back into that too. You know, studying books of the law, you know, just to know it, you know, read, you know, just to go back into it, man. See? So, you get the idea, man. You know, get into these scriptures, study them, you know, and I'm going to end it with this, because as you studying these scriptures, you're reading them and everything, make sure you understand, because the knowledge is what you know, wisdom is how you move with knowledge, but when you have understanding, when you read in something, then you can actually gain the knowledge and wisdom from it. Then you can actually grasp it, you know, grasp, you know, like you reach down and grab at something. So when you have the understanding, which only the Lord can give you, okay, then you, you know, are actually getting the message. But I'll end it with this. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. See? So with that, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, ever well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shalom to the elect.